The president wants to spy on 200 million Americans without a warrant. Has he read this document, which he was sworn to uphold?
Now, I will not have you libel Abraham Lincoln.
I don't understand the problem with registering guns. We register cars.
Mark Levine brings you the news the government doesn't want you to know.
Today, an explosive story about connections between white supremacists and Islamic terrorists.
When there's a conflict between Scalia's conservative values and the Constitution of the United States, he throws away the Constitution.
When we do have secret prisons, that is not what America's all about.
Let's go to Mark in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening, America. Welcome to the Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Mark Levine. Welcome to a very special holiday celebration. It, of course, is the end of the year 2013. And it's time to really reflect on what we've done, not just this year, but in the 8 years that we've been on the air. We'll be playing a bunch of clips from the past and also sharing some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we do here. To give you an idea, I have with me sitting to my left Dr. Sam. You've been on the Inside Scoop now for
5 years.
Has that really been 5 years?
Absolutely, 5 years.
Seems like just yesterday.
Yeah, 241 shows and 964 individual shows.
Emerald Planet, that's very good. You're getting close there. I've got about 2,000 shows.
Oh no, you're
radio.
so far ahead of
radio.
me. I can't keep up with you.
TV, I probably only got 500 or so.
Well, that's double.
So you're getting there.
Congratulations.
So you can see we have wine, we've got chocolate.
You got everything.
It's a time to celebrate.
It's exactly.
So
end of the year.
So what are your most memorable aspects of these 5 years?
Well, actually, being able to go around the globe, we've interviewed about 900 different people now, 85 different countries.
Wow, 85 countries.
85 countries. And the important thing about it is that we're actually large or small, in between. We've been able to identify the best practices of people that are really making a difference in their local communities. So whether it's South Africa or Israel, Russia, Belarus, Japan, China, whatever it is on the planet, doesn't matter.
It matters because, environmentalism, I think so many people only focus on their own country. And of course, it's only one planet. And unless we get something working in every country, including Russia, China, some countries that really need to work on it, as well as we do, we don't get as much there. So tell me, in terms of the Inside Scoop, what brought you here? What brought you with us? And
well, actually, it was the fact that we're planning to do our Around the Globe trek, which is in 144 different countries. And so we need to get started with the television program, Proof of Concept, and to start bringing people on the program and to share that back out to the world. So now we're broadcasting all over the globe. So it's important to really involve as many people as possible and to do it before we physically started going to these different countries.
And my crew knows me on Monday nights. They may not know you. So introduce yourself to those who don't know you and to tell them about Emerald Planet.
What we're doing, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, the President Executive Director of Emerald Planet, and we have the Emerald Planet TV, which we broadcast every Sunday night. So we're on bookends as far as what Mark is doing and the fantastic program he has. But on the other hand, we are completely away from politics, religion, and all those other kinds of things.
Which I deal with every day.
Mark dives into great depths and great...
No, but environmentalism is some would argue, a religion or a politics. I mean, it's something that people really should be concerned about.
They should be concerned about it, but we're really doing it from the other side of that, Mark. Everybody talks about all the problems. What we're looking at is the best practices, the solutions, and the solutions that people in local communities actually can employ and do on their own. And so many of the programs, as we say, we want to take an idea and hopefully spread it across 10,000 different communities in all 214 countries and territories. So it's very important to share this. And so being a part with Jim Southworth and AJ and everybody that comes on every Sunday night to help put it on, it's
just
an incredible
as they come on every Monday night, and they have for 8 years to help with my show. I don't often come Sunday nights, mostly because I'm here on Monday night. But tell me about some of the shows you've done this year.
Well, we just finished one. We had rain harvesting last night. The week before that, it was all about big data and cloud computing and the importance.
Rain harvesting?
Rain harvesting, absolutely. That's one of the newest things.
What does that mean?
That's actually, now the world is drying. Many areas are using up all the water in the aquifers,
global warming,
even the surface water. So now the fact is of harvesting these extreme downpours that they have and that's going into rain barrels, cisterns, rain gardens, Aqualock, which is a product that you can actually put on the roofs of many large high-rise buildings. And there's dozens of other technologies, but many of these really are best practices.
So this is happening in the United States. It's not just happening in the developing world. This is
It's all over the world.
It's happening right here. Basically, just
downtown Washington, D.C. to Moscow to
Just
London
to
to
conserve
Johannesburg.
water.
Well, it's more than conserving water. It's actually to stop the flow of water. As you know, the extreme weather events are increasing on a dramatic rate.
Sure.
And so you have all these more and more impervious surfaces, such as roads, parking lots, buildings, streets, sidewalks. And so the whole thing is to be able to capture this and do something positive with it instead of just destroying the local terrain.
I want to bring some of our crew out today. We're going to do that this hour.
It's a great idea.
And celebrate. We've got wine. We are going to open these. This is not just for decoration. We got wine. We've got chocolate. We've got people coming in, and we've also got some clips from the past. And I don't know if we've got some from your show that will hopefully we'll be able to show up. I know I've got one of my most famous ones that when people ask me what is my most famous inside scoop, the one that I get the most attention from, I have to say the best was, or at least the one most looked at YouTube, is my parody of the attacks on marriage equality. Now, this I think is a clip that's perfectly appropriate, given that Utah yesterday, just actually Friday, just had marriage equality because of a state ruling, and New Mexico the day before. They're coming one after the other. When I did this clip, though, back in 2008, it was. Well, a lot of people were very angry. It was Proposition 8 had been passed in California. People who had been married could no longer get married, and people were very upset. And I felt that one of the best ways to illustrate the problem was to do so with parody, because I think sometimes comedy gets things across more than
allow people to relax and relax with it. Yeah.
But when I did this clip, I guess I did it too well, because to this day, people tune into YouTube. If you go to Band Left on YouTube, you can find this clip. And, well, let me play it for you.
It's
not ready yet?
Yeah, give us about 30 seconds.
Tell you what, we can wait till after the break, and we can play it after the break. Let me say this. I began here in 2005. I'm going to bring Jim Southworth, my producer, on here to share with us in just a bit. But when he came to me, I had done a speech for the Northern Virginia Democratic Business Council, I believe it was, on, of all things, the Patriot Act. How ironic that today we're still talking about NSA spying and so forth. I was talking about it back in 2005, before Edward Snowden, before all this stuff came out. But I gave an impassioned speech about the stuff that I felt that we had tried to pass before in the Patriot Act, and then what it turned into, and how I felt that our original was better, it protected civil liberties better. And Jim Southworth came up to me, and well, I guess he's going to relive the moment.
I can walk in a little bit.
And he knows the story because he tells us about
He's going to relive the moment.
I walked up to him and I said,
Put the mic to your face. You're a production guy. You should know those things.
And I basically said, how'd you like to be on TV? The classic symbol.
That is what he said.
Thus it started.
Well,
it took us about 90 days to really get fully set up and going. And then we've done literally thousands of shows since then.
We have. We're going to go play some from Studio A where we started.
We've had governors.
We used to have a round table and a couple chairs with a blue tablecloth.
Actually, in the
and you had a fake plant.
There's a clip within a clip, which we can also show. Is this working? Okay, I got to get it close.
You know, you'd think that a guy who produces TV would know to speak into a microphone.
Or I'll get to
but
put
the thing is, he's usually producing for everybody else. He doesn't have to worry about it.
Right. We on-talent people know to speak in the microphone. We're going to drink on the air? I guess we should.
You got to make sure the wine's okay.
That's true. We have to.
It's required.
We have to test it.
Okay.
Is it working now for me to play my
Go for wait 1 second. I'll check. I'll be right back.
All right. See, Jim, it's hard when the crew's out here and not back there. It's hard to get things done.
That's exactly right.
But,
and you never know what's going to come up next.
That's true. Are we ready for it? Because I haven't hit play yet. I was waiting for you. It's a black screen right now, but that's where I'm going to start it. There we go.
Now you should be able to.
All right. So this is me 5 years ago. See if I've aged any. Talking about marriage equality. And I'm doing it, tongue-in-cheek, but a lot of people, I guess, didn't realize it because I complained about a different group of people getting married.
Well, I tell you, it's really interesting, Mark, because this topic keeps coming up over and over about your show, and the impact that he had has just been incredible.
I think the wireless is a little weak here because I've hit play, and it's not playing. That's
A lot of children are born to single mothers. Marriage is in trouble.
Let's play it.
And there's a reason why marriage is in trouble. There's a reason why divorces are on the upswing. There's a reason why it's so hard for people to stay married.
After the break if it's a problem. I can play it after the break. This is one of our most favorite clips. One of the things that happens when you have the crew come out here and talk, obviously, is they have a harder time back there to do everything.
Exactly.
But that's okay. See, this is a relaxed show. I'm not wearing a suit today. This is
they look fantastic.
My first. It's so much more comfortable. I virtually always do as you've done.
Right.
Wear a jacket and tie. What I think a lot of people don't realize is that you dress below the belt. Usually, most of us we wear jeans below the belt because they don't see that. And by the way, that's true on other networks as well.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's what I understand.
People don't realize this, but I've been on network with Bill O'Reilly or Megyn Kelly or Chris Matthews. They all wear jeans below the belt because it's comfortable. Telling secrets about TV. But I'll tell you what. Let's. I'll start opening the wine. White or red?
Red.
Red. Okay. Fair enough. We'll start with the Cabernet that I bought. And while we're doing that, what about the Inside Scoop? Do you think? What do you think has been its impact?
Well, it's been tremendous impact because we are reaching around the globe. Because I was in a meeting where we had 15 governors and provincial mayors from China.
Really?
And they are actually watching the program.
Really?
We have over
5,000 people watching on the web.
Yeah, and we have 2,500 people watching every Sunday night from Austria.
From Austria.
Austria.
Now, why Austria?
We have. Because we've done a lot of work with the Austrians.
Okay.
We have 2 Emerald Planet watching parties every Sunday night in Paris, France.
Really?
And
so what makes this so international? Because it's shown on the internet. It's easier for people to access
Well, the fact is that we're talking international. The program truly is international. And we've had, 4 different countries, people from 4 different countries in one particular program. 65% of our interviews are by Skype. And they're coming from all over the globe.
And I've seen some of them, and we've had some of those by Skype.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get this video working. We're going to play some old clips. We're going to open this wine bottle. We're going to have more people on set. We're going to show some old shows, so we'll have a really good time.
Great.
Folks, if you want to call in and share your favorite memories, feel free. It's that time of the year. Just dial up 571-749-1166, and we'll put you on the air. As I said, this is Mark Levine, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites right after this. I'm not going to get this wine bottle.
There's more than just books at the library.
There's more than just books at the library.
Excuse me.
There's more than just books at the library.
Il y a plus que de livres à la bibliothèque.
Hello. You have a lot of great books here today. You know there's more than just books at the library.
I know.
There's more than just books at the library.
I don't want to be hooked to a machine.
I want all the medical treatment available to me.
I wouldn't want my family to have to make this decision.
My doctor knows what's best for me.
An advance directive is your life on your terms. Talk with your family. Decide what's right for you. Then put it in writing.
Documenting my wishes today means my family won't have to make heart-wrenching decisions later.
To learn more, visit www.putitinwriting.org.
1,200 American youth run away from their homes every day. The National Runaway Switchboard is here to help. 1-800-RUNAWAY. If you are a runaway, thinking about running away from home, or a parent or guardian concerned about issues facing your child, call us 24 hours a day. 1-800-RUNAWAY. In times of crisis, hope is just a phone.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
And Mark Levine. Well, welcome back to the Inside Scoop. This is Mark Levine. I'm pouring the wine for a special holiday celebration.
Thank you, sir.
Where we're going to go over
Appreciate
some old clips, and I also want to bring my crew out here to talk about what we've done over the past 8 years. Actually, let's see, close to 2013. Going on, yeah, I guess it'll be, no, actually, I think it'll be 9 years.
9 years, that's a long time.
We started January 2005, so yeah, so one more year, it'll be our 10th anniversary. Right. So let's drink to the
Cheers.
Inside Scoop and its past
Inside Scoop.
and its future.
Right.
And
okay, Mark, we can play.
And we're ready, all right. So this clip, again, is I think particularly apropos, given that we just had New Mexico Thursday and then Utah Friday, which really is a harbinger for the future, because that was based on the federal constitution. So that's something that very much will be nationwide. But back 5 years ago, it didn't seem that certain. So I played a clip where I complained about a different people getting married. Let's go ahead and play that.
Marriage is in trouble. And there's a reason why marriage is in trouble. There's a reason why divorces are on the upswing. There's a reason why it's so hard for people to stay married. It's because we don't protect the sanctity of marriage.
All the time.
We don't respect marriage anymore. We let anyone get married. Yes, we even let people who practice a perverted, unnatural lifestyle to get married as if they were normal. I'm talking, of course, about the southpaw. The southpaw, the left-hander, those unnatural people that don't form the majority of human beings, but practice the sinister hand, that use the left hand as if it were as good as the right, when we know from human history, from Western civilization, from the church, from even Japanese civilization, that left is wrong and right is right. I'm not making this up. You don't believe me? Look up your history books. Some of you have been so trained by the leftist agenda, you may not even know the history. You may not even know that sinister means left. Sinister. Sinister is a word of wickedness. It means left. You may not know that dexter, dexterous, means right. This is from the Latin. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. And because left-handed people are getting married as if they were normal, as if they are right, more and more children are being taught the left agenda. They're being taught that left means right. And then you ask yourself, why are there hurricanes on the Gulf Coast? God is angry. He's angry because we're allowing these perverted, unnatural people, these left people, to get married. I mean, it's not just gay people that want to get married. Left-handed people have been getting married for almost a century now, possibly even longer, sometimes right under our own noses. I understand we have a caller on the line. Javier from Fairfax. Welcome to the Inside Scoop.
Hi. I'm just curious. Are you really serious?
What do you mean?
Like, do you honestly believe like left-handed people are sinners?
Well, that's Western civilization. Javier has taught this for generations. I mean, you sound young. You may not have known about this practice, but well into the earlier 20th century, children were taught they have to use their right hand, not their left hand. This is not something new I'm making up. Sinister does mean left. Look it up.
Okay, so you think all these left people are perverted, right?
They're unnatural. There's a reason why the majority is right-handed.
Okay. Because I mean, this seems kind of crazy to me.
Why?
I don't really see them as.
They're unnatural. Normal people are you right-handed or are you left-handed, Javier?
I'm right-handed, but
okay.
A person born with I don't know, a certain kind of disability is unnatural too. But I'm not gonna.
Well, I agree, it's a disability. I accept that. It's like alcoholism or being blind or being deaf. But people can be taught. For example, dyslexia, right? You can teach people not to be dyslexic. You can teach a left-hander to use their right hand. In fact, 100 years ago, virtually everyone born with this malediction was taught to use the right hand, right?
Yeah, I guess so, but you're just not really hitting me here as these left-handed people as major sinners. I mean,
well, it's taught. It used to be taught in every church. Now, I realize that churches today are becoming more and more liberal. They're following the liberal elite. They're reading things like the New York Times. Fewer and fewer churches are persecuting left-handed people, but that doesn't make it right. Just because, you know, the liberal elites say it's right, that doesn't make it right. Right is right.
Do you think these left-handed people pose a threat besides?
Sure they do.
Besides morally?
Do you want them teaching your children? Do you want your children to grow up thinking that they can use machinery the same way if they're left-handed or right-handed? You can't. There are scissors. Most scissors are for right-handed people. When you drive a car, it's on the right-hand side of the road. If you write with your left hand, the ink smears. It's an unnatural perversion, and we can teach people no longer to be left-handed.
Okay.
Javier, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you support the right of gay people to get married?
Excuse me?
Do you support the right of gay people to get married?
Actually, I oppose that.
You oppose that?
Yes.
Why? I mean, there's nothing. What's the difference between being gay and left-handed? You think left-handed people should get married, even though they practice an unnatural perversion, but gay people shouldn't? I'm confused. What's the difference?
Okay, well, it's a man and a man, not a man and a woman.
Right, and a left is a left and not a right is a right.
I know, but this is a more serious basis. Like,
what's more serious?
You think trying to prosecute left-handed people is going to solve the problems in the world?
It won't solve all the problems in the world, but it's a start. If we enforce morality now, it'll be a start. Do you think that preventing gay people from marrying will solve all the problems in the world? No.
No, but it's an important morality issue, and I think this...
well, but so is this. Javier, it's not just Western civilization. In Japan, if you eat chopsticks with your left hand, you are shunned. We have to teach our children to be ready for the 21st century.
We're not Japanese, man.
We're American. And in America, they used to be taught, I'm not making this up, 100 years ago, you would be slapped on the hand if you used the wrong hand.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, here there's so many different people from so many different cultures. I mean, there's so many things going on. I don't think people are going to care if their son or the neighbor is going to be left-handed or not.
They won't care? But they can't live in normal, natural society.
Actually, I'm pretty sure there's some left-handed people, like in my school, but
Listen, there are probably gay people in your school, but you would deny them the right to marry, right?
Yeah.
If you could deny them the right to marry, you could deny left-handed people the right to marry. These are unnatural minorities, and they should be stamped out. Look, I'm not saying kill them. I'm just saying don't allow them to teach our children that being left-handed is okay. That's what gay people want to do, and it's wrong too, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, the seriousness of each problem, I think, is far...
What's the difference?
It's just...
All right, I'm going to go to another caller. Javier, I want you to think about what the difference is, because I don't see it. And if you think about it, you write it on my website at radioinsidescoop.com. Javier tries to make a distinction between left...
Javier never did come up with a distinction between being gay and being left-handed. Obviously, being left-handed is a minority. Most people are right-handed, and people that were arguing that you could choose not to be gay, I say, well, just like you could choose not to be left-handed. But it was a great way to illustrate a point where people were all about persecuting gay people. But when you bring it up with left-handedness, the best part about the clip, though, is that if you go to the YouTube hits to this day, maybe a quarter of the comments think I'm serious. They're like, I'm left-handed, and why would you keep me from getting married? And that's terrible. That's horrible. And I actually think we're getting to the point, particularly when we see what's happening in Utah, that arguments against gay people getting married are getting laughed at, much as that one was being laughed at. Have you ever seen the clip that far? I don't know if you've ever watched it.
No, I have not. Jim Southworth, the executive producer, keeps telling us about it, and he just loves it.
Javier was a real caller. Javier was not a plant. That actually is a clip of a full one. I did a full 1 hour show on this, and the first two callers knew it was a joke, and that was fun, and we were all playing around. But we trapped a real live one there with Javier. Poor kid. He sounds young. Hopefully to this day he's changed his mind. But I think we actually did change a few minds there when people thought about, when I would say left-handed people can't live in natural society and it's unnatural, people are like, huh? And today I think people think the same about gay people. But that was one of my favorite clips. I was looking also to find a really, really old clip. Jim, you've got one from Christmas, I believe, 6 years ago? Is that right?
2007.
2007. Do you have it up here?
You can bring it up. Well, I'll set it up while you're...
Okay, tell you what. You set it up while I'm talking, and I'll try to find... I wanted to find just a really old show that I was looking for there. But on the Inside Scoop, we have had everything from Governor Tim Kaine of Virginia, and we had
who was only supposed to be on for 5 minutes.
No, we had him for a full show.
We had like 17 minutes, and his people were going crazy.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to stay on.
Well, Tim is excellent. He's I've known Tim for many years. He's a very sharp individual, and he can take 1 minute or 1 hour at a clip. It doesn't matter.
We had the official or unofficial primary debates in the Democratic Party, both for U.S. Senator, between current Senator Jim Webb and Harris, I've forgotten his name. What was it? I forgot his name. We had him here. Harris
My
Miller.
favorite
You're
friend,
right.
yes.
You're right. It was Harris Miller. We also had Lieutenant Governor debates. We've had a lot of primary debates. But obviously it's not just Virginia topics. We have done everything, you name it. I like to say from abortion to Zimbabwe, because it really has been A to Z. And we have dealt with issues, immigration and guns, gun regulation, and environmental issues. Although, since you're the expert, I haven't done as many of those lately, since you have. Lots and lots of discussions with Mike Lane, our Republican strategist, on budget strategy, on deficits, on the philosophy.
I understand those go very well because the two of you play off of each other.
We do. Although there was one time I do remember very famously. Maybe we can show it on the air. We'll play this in a second. But we can show it on the air where I was shaking my Constitution at him, as I have wont to do, and it literally slipped out of my hand and hit him in the face. And I don't know, to me that was just a metaphor for all the problems with the Republicans not following the Constitution. But I do remember many of those segments you can actually see on the opening to the show. One very famous time he was complaining that I was complaining that Bush had suspended the writ of habeas corpus. He was putting all the people in Guantanamo Bay, not giving them a fair trial. Again, I complain when Obama does it too, so I've been very consistent on that. And he was defending George Bush's practice. And he said Abraham Lincoln suspended the writ of habeas corpus. And then I pulled out my Constitution and reminded him that the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in cases of invasion or rebellion. The Civil War was a rebellion. So Abraham Lincoln knew that, and he followed the Constitution. And I said very famously, I will not have you libel Abraham Lincoln. And that's the clip that we still play in the opening
that's what
segment.
hit him on the nose.
And it was a different time, but that was. So we're going to play some more clips. We're also going to play a humor piece by Will Roberts, who's only been with us, I guess, about 6 months now. He's sort of our resident humorist, talking about remembering the people behind the scenes, which is what we're going to do today. And I want to bring out some of those people after the commercial break behind the scenes and talk with them. And
They're
chat
excellent,
about
excellent
what
folks.
they do behind the scenes.
Right.
There's a lot of work.
Excellent.
Folks, if you want to join the discussion, you can. Tell us your favorite show or what you enjoy about the Inside Scoop. The number is 571-749-1166. I promise, unlike Javier, this is a real show dealing with a real topic, or at least it's a happy holiday show. So, Dr. Sam, I'm going to ask you to give up your seats to someone from the
I'm
group.
going to do that.
Maybe we'll
I'm
start
happy
with
to
our
do it.
executive producer, Jim Southworth. Right after
Absolutely. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Osama bin Laden calls getting nuclear weapons a religious duty.
Today, materials that can be used to make nuclear weapons are stored in more than 40 countries.
Sometimes protected by just a chain link fence.
Yet not enough is being done to lock down these materials
Before terrorists steal them.
Why did we learn all this?
My mother,
My son
my sister-in-law.
were all murdered September 11th.
Help protect America.
Together we can.
Please join us.
The stem cell issue is being debated throughout the country. Truth is, most everyone has an opinion, even if they don't know the facts.
Let's stop arguing and start really understanding the potential of stem cell research.
For us and for millions of Americans living with disabilities, get the facts.
Call 1-877-842-3442 for free information from the Stem Cell Research Foundation. That's 1-877-842-3442.
Following the tragic events of September 11th, there have been hundreds of violent attacks against innocent Americans.
Remember what that flag you're waving stands for.
Remember, please stop the hate.
We're stronger when we are united.
Remember
what that flag you're waving stands for.
One nation under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty
And justice.
for all.
In America, there's either room for everyone or it's not America. Don't pick the wrong fight.
Let's keep America land of the free.
Stop the hate.
Planning a home renovation? Put this at the top of your to-do list. Because after 10 years, none of you are protected against tetanus and another potentially fatal disease, diphtheria. A minor injury, such as a cut or a scrape, can put you at risk for a tetanus infection. And while safety gear offers some protection, an up-to-date vaccination called the TD Booster is the best insurance against tetanus. So get the TD Booster. If it's been 10, do it again.
Welcome back to the Inside Scoop. This is Mark Levine. I'm here with my executive producer, Jim Southwood. Jim and I have been working together. I figured it out. It's 9 years as of January 1st. So our big 10, we got to do something for our 10th year anniversary in 1 year.
Well, and you know, you've come a long ways, too.
Speak into the mic, Mr. Come a long ways. Thank you.
They're going to mic me up.
Okay, that's good.
So I don't have to do this.
That's true.
But as I said earlier, I walked up to you at a breakfast, at a business breakfast, and said, how'd you like to be on TV?
That's right.
And you had been in talk radio at the time and
For about 3
had
years.
really good set of skills. But more than that, you'd been a prosecutor. You
Well,
knew,
not a prosecutor, but
an
a
attorney,
trial lawyer.
A trial lawyer. A lawyer that had the skills to think on your feet and be able to do things. Because we do things a little different here. Most of the shows, or at least many of the talk shows, are totally scripted. And
not mine. Never has been.
No, and they wear their earbud, and the producer gives them keywords
That's
and
right.
keep them talking. In fact, you do that with some of the national networks you're on occasion. We don't do that here for a lot of reasons. We want to give you the freedom to go where you want to go with some of this stuff.
And I'll tell you something. I hadn't done any national TV at the time that in fact, I was looking back for some old clips and I found a national TV shot that I did in 2008, one of my first, at the Democratic National Convention, but that was already after I'd been here for 3 years. They're going to mic you up. While they mic you up, Jim, I want to play you and me talking 6 years ago to the day on December 23rd. This is this time the Inside Scoop was only 3 years old. I hadn't been on any national TV at all.
Well,
here's you and me on our old set.
And in this set, you'll notice there's a funny little box to the side. We actually took a live feed from Australia. The very first international live feed we did with this show.
And here I am talking with you on our old set 6 years ago. We'd done this now for 3 years at that time.
Crossfire style debates we had 14 people on our crew that night. All volunteers, as they all be.
And people work very, very hard. I want to make sure, and that's one of the reasons we're doing today's show, is to thank everyone, including the people behind my cameras today and all the people back in the control room. I want to show the oldest clip that we have on the internet, though, because it gives an idea of some of the things that I've done. And I don't want to take credit for the Democrats taking over the Senate per se, but I'll tell you this. The 51st senator, of course, the closest election of the 2006 race was Senator Jim Webb of Virginia. And long before his election, 6 months before, I was talking about the Republican he was running against, the incumbent Senator George Allen, and his racist past. And that's actually the very first video that we have up on the internet.
Long before he was caught.
That's true.
In the macaca trap.
So let's, I want to see some of this. Maybe we can show this right here on the air. And of course, Allen says he's not a racist. But I want to go through some incidents in his. We're buffering. Yeah, that's another thing about technology here in the.
Well, the point is that shows that you're running live off the web.
Well, that's true. And then what we do is live shows. I was trying to maximize it so everyone could see it. And now I think I've lost the clip. Oh, let me try to fast forward. We're working on it, folks.
Well, let me explain to keep it turned on at night because
badly matching jacket. And here was the very first Halloween Inside Scoop.
And now from Washington, the Inside Scoop. All the news the government does not want you to hear. Now, here's your host on the Inside Scoop, Mark Levine.
Good evening, America. Welcome to the Inside Scoop, and happy Halloween to everyone. I'm your host, Mark Levine, former congressional attorney working for the Democrats. My guest tonight is a frequent guest here on the Scoop. His name is Mike Lane. He's a Republican strategist. But tonight is Halloween. And on Halloween, of course, Americans don their masks to the scariest thing they can think of and play a different character. So Mike and I are going to try something different tonight. Those of you who regularly watch The Scoop know that normally we defend our respective parties.
Well, tonight we're going to try something different. I have donned the disguise, if you will, of a Republican. I've followed Tucker Carlson to get the appropriate fashion sense. I got my bow tie and my badly matching jacket. And let me show you some of the stuff that we did in this Halloween show, because Mike and I had a lot of fun with it. Things, for example,
so that was a clip within a clip.
You Democrats are going to argue about. But we firmly believe that there's a certain privileged class. If you work hard, as Barron Hilton did, his children, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren should never have to work again, because we're the privileged class. We deserve that. Working is for losers. Let's tax those workers.
All right, well, you know, first of all, everyone in America should be privileged. There's no reason why just some people ought to be privileged. There ought to be a special program to advantage every single person, so nobody ever has to work
this was, of
more
course,
than 35 hours a week again.
What we did, showing back to our Halloween show, those clips, I'm not even sure they're even on the internet anymore, because Ustream unfortunately got rid of some of them. But we have them on DVD, I know.
Well, actually, some of them went through. They were up on Google Video, which predated YouTube.
Okay.
And then when YouTube got merged into Google Video, some of the clips came back.
Really? I didn't realize that. So I got my chops here, and then I actually started to go on national TV. My first time ever on national TV was at the the Democratic National Convention in Denver, and this was it's on local Fox. Was my first time.
Well, and we have a claim to flame in this too.
That's true, because you actually had me
we were
live
taking
there.
live feeds from you from Denver as a public access station.
That is very true. All right, so let's play just a little bit of, this is me arguing with the head of the Colorado Republican Party.
Bush's policies, privatizing Social Security and things like that, giving us 100 years of war in Iraq. So, because Americans already support Obama on the issues, last night was about personality. It was about learning who he was as a person. And to me, Michelle Obama really brought up, this is a family guy. These are people from humble beginnings who live the American dream. You know, the Republicans want to classify Obama as some kind of elitist. Really, that's just code word for uppity. They don't like that a humble person can achieve so much. And, you know, John McCain.
On the air in Fox, I said that that calling Obama elitist is code word for uppity. I never really did mince words.
We have to tell the other side of the story there about how you accidentally got on Fox.
Well, okay.
They thought you were the other Mark Levin.
They thought I was Mark Levin.
Yes, but after you got on and all the people kept calling in, they
said I dramatically increased their ratings. So,
so they couldn't get rid of you very well, and you were doing a better job. Unfortunately, you did a better job of debating some of the other people they had on the show than they expected.
I'll tell you, I want to get the clip from Will Roberts here, and I'm just looking to see where it is.
Well, you don't have to. Jim can play.
Oh, okay, that's terrific. So I told Will Roberts what we're doing here, basically thanking you, and I do want to bring some other people on the set, people like Roger and Jim Girardi that have worked here.
We can bring them in during the clip.
For many years, and bring them in and talk about what they do. But I was telling Will Roberts, our resident humorist, about this, and he did a clip about his help behind the scenes.
Jim, can you roll from?
Let's play that clip. Sound, please. Or start it over.
Start it over.
Start over with sound, please.
Shopping season. Can't offend any. Well, it's that time of year again. The Christmas season. I mean, the holiday season. The shopping season. Can't offend anybody with that one. I mean, we all shop, right? And being that time of the year, it tends to remind me that there are good people in the world that we should thank and be thankful for.
Let's all hug.
You know, like the garbage person that always takes that extra bag you put out, even if it dumps over. Or your local checkout person that every time you buy something, they smile and say, "Have a good day." Or the boss that you have that always gives you a bonus.
Bah humbug.
But it's becoming more difficult to pay attention to the giving part of this, especially when we can't afford to pay attention.
I got nothing.
You know that old saying, it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. Not exactly something you see in corporate America these days. So here's my plan and my present to you folks. So don't say I never got you anything. Start wishing people well. Everybody. Start with the people that you least like. The response you'll get from them, well, it's a present in itself.
Huh? Me?
Plus, you never know. It might start a conversation with those people, and you might find out that you two really do get along.
I don't know why we ever fought.
And don't forget to thank all your closest friends and family. You know, everyone. Not just the ones in front, but the ones behind the scenes. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this segment if it wasn't for my crew. I thank them all the time. And this Christmas, get them a little something. Oh boy, I forgot to get you guys something. I'm Will Roberts, and this is your weekly telegram. A flashlight around here. Come on, everybody. I'm going to get you something.
Got my crew something. They're working very hard there. I'm trying to get them to come out in front of the camera
they're coming.
so I can thank them, but they're so busy making this show work that it's hard. It's kind of like Will. They'd have to turn off the lights to come out here and be with us.
Well, the good news is, one of the things we've made as a practice is that generally all our people can rotate into any other crew member's position.
Because we don't always have everyone make it every day.
It's an all-volunteer crew.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
People will get paid, so you have to be able to cover for who is available. And it also means that we have to train 3 to 4 times as many people as you would if it was a paid environment.
That makes sense.
So that everybody they have work, they have things they have to do.
And we've had some people like Mary.
She's amazing.
I guess she's down in Florida now because it's December.
It's that time. She's a snowbird.
She's a snowbird. It's her time of the year. But Mary was here, I think, from like the very first time.
Very much. She did hundreds of shows with us.
And very much so. And I guess Raph is gone. Raphael's gone. He's probably been with us the longest.
Yeah, he's got another engagement tonight. He was here earlier.
And then I think Jim Girardi has been here just a little bit longer than Roger, but they've both been on here a very long time.
Yeah.
Carrie's been helping out and then we get a lot of young people that come in different times. People like Dan and others that come in here and
we'll bring
learn.
them in the next segment since we're down to 1 minute.
Well, that sounds good. You know, people don't realize there's a clock that I have to kind of watch out of the corner of my eye all the show, and I'm usually pretty good at hitting it.
It's custom software that we designed.
Not always, but I try to really go out right when the zero is here. But you actually got Microsoft.
I designed it, and then Microsoft wrote it for us. As a custom software to allow us to sequence everything within fractions of a second off the atomic clock.
And one of the reasons we do that is because this is broadcast not just here in Fairfax, Virginia.
It's live, and there's 500 other stations that take our feed off the web.
500 stations that take our feet off the web.
And some of those are all over the world now.
All over the world. And Jim, I went to you. So thank you very much for the past 9 years. We'll have a big celebration next year, and then another decade to come. So coming up next, some behind the scenes people that worked so hard to make this happen. I want to thank all of you and have a toast to you. We'll be right back right after this. Pour them a drink.
She's had more than a dozen fractures. And in the next few years, she faces 2 major surgeries to strengthen her fragile bones. She's only 10 years old. Most people don't worry about fragile bones until late in life. For those with osteogenesis imperfecta, brittle bones are a concern throughout their lifetime. Find out how you can strengthen this child's future.
Diabetes is a killer. After I was diagnosed, I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
Most people with diabetes also have high blood pressure and cholesterol, which can cause severe heart damage. In fact, 2 out of 3 people with diabetes die from heart disease or stroke.
Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
Call for your free diabetes survival guide. Choose to live.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet.
Welcome back to the Inside Scoop, a special holiday show. We've got wine, we've got food, we've got cookies. By all means, have a puree.
I'll jump on.
This is Jim Girardi sitting here. Now, Jim is actually a pretty big muckety muck. I can't talk about that because we don't. But works for a major computer outfit, and yet, despite your power and influence, you've been coming here for what, 6, 7 years? I can't even count how many years you've been here.
I've been at FPA for about 8 years.
Okay, and you've been on this show, though, for I think 6 or 7.
6 or 7 years, and I started, there was a show opposite yours that was a sort of a right-wing show that I was directing.
Really?
And
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't take it. I mean
That's funny.
The talk, all of the disparaging remarks, everything. I was going like, I can't do this anymore.
So you told Jim that?
Well, I stumbled onto your show in Studio A.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going, wow, this is pretty cool. That's good stuff. That makes sense. This is all right. So I tried to make a decision. I wasn't sure what to do, so I called my friend Jack.
Who I brought on the show before. Mr. Daniels and I have had, he has been on my show before, yes.
So I asked Jack.
He's an old friend of mine.
I said, what should I do? And Jack said, well, he said, go where your heart is. Do what the natural thing is. I watched your show a couple times. I sat back and shadowed Jim, and I said, this is really where I want to be. So I think the first week you guys needed a sound person. So I got a little bit of background in sound. I jumped in on the sound. And then something happened with your...
A little bit of background. Soundman for The Who.
You were the soundman for The Who?
Yes.
I did not realize that.
Oh, yeah.
Peter, Paul, and Mary, Judy Collins.
Peter, Paul, and Mary, Judy Collins.
Yes.
So Jim, you got to explain this to me because why are you slumming it with me? I mean, here you are, this executive at this great computer company. You were a sound man for The Who. You have worked in all kinds of places, and yet before I was ever on, I mean, now at least I've done some national, international TV. Before I did any of that, you were coming to work at Fairfax, Virginia, on a local show. Why? It's not for the pay, God knows, because all you get is maybe a little bit of wine and cookies once a year, maybe if you're lucky.
I taught video at a local university for several years, and stumbled onto this place one night. I was out. A friend of mine and I came here, and they had the tour. So wow, the tour. Okay, so we took the tour, and went around and thought, well, this is pretty good stuff. Now, this 6, 7 years ago there was no Studio C.
Right.
This area.
Right.
Studio A and B were still primitive.
Right. We've seen pictures of them.
But they were okay.
Yeah.
So I took a couple of courses. I talked to the woman who was in charge of the courses at the time, and said, I think you want to do a better job at your training, because I was training at the local university. And she said, okay, write the curriculum. So I was automatically, so I wrote the curriculum. Right now I'm teaching 8 courses, wrote curriculum for all 8. And so I'm here.
Well, I just think you typify, and I got to think Carrie and Roger. They're sitting here. They're working very hard. They're ironically camera shy, which is since they control the cameras. I think there's a nice little juicy irony in that. But working behind the scenes, but I think you typify the great volunteer spirit of the people here, because all of you could be doing something, making money, working in some ways, and yet you come here week after week, and not just on my show. Many of you work on Dr. Sam's show as well on Sundays, and you must love it because God knows it ain't the pay.
Well, the thing about Fairfax Public Access is that it's an amazing place.
It's not like Wayne's World.
It's not like Wayne's World at all. And I like to teach here because I keep wanting the bar to get raised. And so every
What's
course.
so amazing about this place? What makes this place stand out?
Well, there's Studio C where we can do almost anything.
We are now.
Yeah, we can put you behind the desk, put me behind the desk. You talked about the debates. We can set up podiums and put people behind podiums that aren't here.
That's right.
We can have a moderator at a desk that isn't here. We can do all kinds of things.
We can do remotes.
Yeah.
In fact, and Dr. Sam was talking about his work around the world. I want to bring in Dan here because Dan is one of come on as well. You've been here a long time. Do you want to come on camera? Absolutely. Come on back. Well, hold on. We got a mic for you.
I have a mic.
Oh, you have a mic.
Mic 3.
Okay.
And Dan's a senior at Hofstra.
A junior, actually. I got 1 year left.
But in TV.
But you've been here since high school, I believe. You came
just
in
after high school, actually.
Just after high school. So what brought you to Fairfax and to this show?
Actually, my mother is a local council person for the town of Vienna, and she knew Jim Southworth. Mm-hmm. And she said, hey, Jim Southworth does this thing for FPA, and you're interested in this type of thing. And through my mother, I came in, and they kind of stole me away. I've been here ever since.
So what interests you about either this show or the work behind the scenes? What brings you back here week after week?
Mostly it's just the people. I mean, I enjoy this type of work. I mean, I wouldn't be going to college for this if I didn't.
You don't enjoy working with me?
Come on up.
Obviously.
Come on.
Obviously, I enjoy working with you. I'm sorry.
Another person jumping on the stage here.
Well, I am camera shy, but I'm
but you're making
pressing through it. Maybe some of that
And
wine will
you've
help.
also been here, 4 years? Longer?
Close to it. I'm not entirely sure how long I've been doing this. 2, 3, some number of years.
Some number of years.
Yeah, exactly.
At least a week and a half.
Something like that.
At least a week and a half. And I get some of my longtime crew is in there, and they're camera shy for reasons.
They better understand.
Because God knows I'm not camera shy.
We do 100 live shows a year.
100 live shows a year.
Minimum.
That's just the Inside Scoop.
Yeah.
That's not FBA, just the Inside Scoop.
That doesn't count all the other shows we
That's
work.
right. That's just the Inside Scoop.
Mark here can attest that I am often in the studio here, just off camera.
That's true. We don't see him.
I serve as often as the floor director and sometimes sound person. Hopefully you can hear me speaking right now, thanks to our wonderful sound person, Roger, on the board right now. But all over this studio, we've got people on the corners, in the back, making sure that that Mark here and Mike Lane, whoever might be on the set, sounds and looks beautiful. So that's what our job is.
And we've had some interesting people on this set. We've had Helen Thomas here a few years back before she died, and we also had Frank, who also recently died.
New York.
Frank, that's embarrassing. But
Anyway.
gay rights leader. No, not Barney Frank. Although we've had him as well. We've had members of Congress here. We've had lots and lots of Republicans sit in that chair, and I've tried to skewer them as best I could.
Vince Cerf, who got the gold medal for the internet.
Vince Cerf was on here.
Yep.
It's hard to remember how many shows we've done, but I try each time to just talk about the news of the day in very freewheeling way, and I demand a lot of all of you. I've got videos that I want to play.
Yep.
I've got to get it there and on time, and got to hit the cues, and if I miss a cue, y'all have to make up for that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I want to thank all of you for what you do.
The hardest part is when we've got 5 seconds or 8 seconds left, and you ask for something, and we're scrambling to get the transition going.
Why isn't the internet working? Exactly.
It's like, what are you doing, Mark?
Or switching cameras. Sometimes I'll look at one camera and
well,
another
we had
camera.
the thing going.
We did. I'd like do a little point, which you saw actually. The left-handed thing worked perfectly. It was, Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart did the same.
Well,
thing.
we would, yeah.
Well, I think one of my favorite reasons for Mark's shows is the fact that he's both passionate but also educated on the topics of the day. You know, you have on your talk TV and radio, you kind of have that either they're knowledgeable but kind of dry academic, or you have your firebrands who can yell and shout but not necessarily give you an educated, well-reasoned argument. Mark kind of combines the two. You know, on one show, he'll both be kind of the loud speaking, argumentative sort. But when you think about it, it's also well-reasoned arguments. So that's one thing I think Mark brings here to Fairfax County Public Access.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
One of the cool things that happen is when you're directing, you're at the console and you're trying to get the next thing happening. Sometimes the dialogue is so good that I'm listening to what's going on and missing the cue. It's like, what happens next? Oh my God! So
staring at the program monitor.
Sometimes I cannot listen. And some of your guests are very good. You have, for the most part, I think, Republicans on to debate you issues.
Well, because when I have people that agree with me, I think it's less interesting television. But I do. I've had everything from advocates of better gun regulation to women's rights. We've done shows on domestic abuse. We've done shows on immigration. But you're right. Most of the time, I tend to have Mike Lane is probably my most famous one. But I've had other Republicans.
But you've had some that are very moderate. And the very cool part about that is that typically you take one position or the other, but some of your guests have been so in tune with you that
we agree.
That you agree.
Right. And I don't disagree just to disagree. Yeah. If we're going to come to an agreement, I think that's great. I think the parties can.
You listen.
And we do find their points. Carrie has something that she's waving at behind the screen. I can't. Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
And didn't you have a robot on here that one time?
I don't know if we could show the robot.
Terry.
We did have
Terry the robot.
We did have a robot. We've had all kinds of shows.
You interviewed Terry, yeah.
Again, another thing connected to Jim here, I believe. Aren't you somehow connected to that robot?
To Terry, yes.
Yes.
Many
skills.
the robot. We should have brought Terry out here, but I guess Terry's
or at
probably
least
in
a
a
clip
dust
of
heap
Terry.
somewhere.
Dusty.
No, excuse me. I hope not.
Dusty.
Is Terry still alive and well?
Of course, Terry's earning money right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Glad to hear it. Terry doesn't keep in touch. You'd think Terry would email or something. Terry's a robot. Just so we're clear.
And had a lively discussion with Mark. Over.
Yeah, I don't know that it was quite as well reasoned, perhaps, as it could have been. But I just want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you at home, those of you who religiously watch the show every Monday or watch Dr. Sam's show every Sunday. We enjoy doing the show. We enjoy whether it's Inside Scoop or Inside Scoop Virginia. We've had Inside Scoop, the environmental aspect. Of course, that's Dr. Sam. But we've also had things like Bettina. Inside Scoop. Bettina does Inside Scoop Virginia, and George Burke used to do it before then. And we even had Shannon Sullivan do Inside Scoop Labor for a while. We've had so many Inside Scoops. There's television Inside Scoop, radio Inside Scoop. And all of it you can find at radioinsidescoop.com or television, just TVinsidescoop.com. That's my website. And of course, now I'm doing lots of things. I was just on Channel 8 doing a year in review, actually, local news. You can see me on Fox, CNBC, but I started here, and I will never forget that I started here. So thank you, Jim. Why don't we come in just for the closing credits. This is my producer through thick and thin. And Jim, you make this show go, you make this network go, you make this place go. Everyone does. But
all these volunteers are what makes it happen.
You're the heart and soul of this, Jim, and we all know that. And I want to thank you very much for doing what you do. All of you, thank you so much. And now we're going to go and celebrate. Everyone, have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Eat, drink, and be merry, because that's what it's all about. This is Mark Levine. Until next time, until 2014, that's it for the Inside.